As a nutritional therapist and naturopath, I'm all about leading a healthy lifestyle to take care of my well-being. But at the same time, I'm a firm believer in balance in all things, and that includes enjoying a little alcoholic tipple upon celebration periods. And with Christmas being just around the corner, we're around alcohol a lot more than usual. So I'm sharing with you the wiser choices you can make when it comes to enjoying an alcoholic beverage this Christmas. Okay, so we're gonna get started by making a gin, lime and soda. And the reason I've gone for gin is because gin is a white spirit, and as opposed to darker spirits which have a longer fermentation process, they can often contain compounds called congeners. And congeners are substances such as methanol, which can actually break down into formaldehyde. And actually these compounds are the reason we can get worse hangovers and specifically headaches after drinking a lot of alcohol. So if you opt for the white spirits, they're lower in these congener compounds. So I'm just gonna go for a single shot and pour that in my little shot measurer. Add it into our nice little cocktail glass. And then I've got some soda water ready. I'm gonna just add in, super easy. And then we're gonna go for some lime. And you can garnish this along the top for a little bit of a nice kind of flavor when you're drinking it. Squeeze the juice in, pop it in, and we can add in crushed ice as well, obviously, if you're wanting to get a nice little fizz going and a nice temperature. And then we're just gonna finish off with, I always do this with my cocktails, a little sprig of rosemary, always garnish it on the top, and pop it into the drink. Next up, we're gonna make a kombucha cocktail, and this time I'm using vodka, but you can always use gin if you like, or if you don't drink, there are plenty of amazing non-alcoholic spirits out there that you can use as a simple replacement, and just pop them in your shot glass. They're full of great botanical blends normally, and then you can mix that up with your kombucha. So I'm just doing, again, a single shot, and this is, again, a white spirit, so less congeners than in the darker spirits. I'm gonna add the ice, and then we're gonna go in with the kombucha. As much or little as you want. This one's a rhubarb flavor. And again, if you want to take it a step further, you can always make your own kombucha rather than buying one. And I'm just going to infuse some more flavor with a nice bit of grapefruit, which again, you can garnish over the sides of your cocktail, and then just pop it in, and that looks delicious. Next up, we've got the classic Bloody Mary recipe, which was invented in the 1920s. And as you'll see, I've tried to keep this super simple. I've avoided Worcester sauce and I've avoided horseradish just because I didn't have the ingredients in. You'll see I do have the Tabasco though. And we're gonna start with a single shot of vodka. And we're gonna make sure that you've got kind of chunky ice cubes in your cocktail glass to start. So we'll pop that in. And then with the Tabasco, I always struggle to get it out of the bottle, but just try and get kind of 3 swigs in, and that should aim for like a medium spice, but if you want it a little bit spicier, a little bit more punchy, then just go ahead. And then we're gonna add in, it's about 1 lemon, the juice of a lemon, so 20 mils. Pop that in with a sprinkling of salt and pepper, and then some pepper. And we're gonna finish off with our classic tomato juice, which is super high in antioxidants, vitamin C, and that plant-based chemical called lycopene, which has cardioprotective properties and can help reduce risk of heart disease. So it's great to have something like this in a cocktail. And if you're buying any ones from cartons, then you can just always make sure that they don't have added salt or sugar. So just pour that all the way to the top, as so. And then we're gonna finish off just mixing that around. You can use a cocktail shaker, but sometimes it's just nice with this just to kind of add a spoon in or a cocktail stick and then whiz it around a little bit. And then we will finish with a nice garnish, our celery stick. When it comes to red wines, white wines or rosés, I would tend to opt more towards the red wines, and more specifically the dry reds, which can actually be quite lower in their sugar content. But when we're talking about red wine in general, what can be really interesting is that when the grapes are actually grown in the vineyard and they're fermented, they're actually fermented with their skins on in red wines, unlike rosés and white wines, and that actually protects the colour and the hue, so we get this really nice red hue within the red wines. And actually that's where you'll find a lot of their plant-based phytochemicals, and we actually have in red wine a higher amount of something called polyphenols than in white wine, and polyphenols can actually be very beneficial for our digestive health. So these are plant-based compounds that actually feed our bacteria within our gut, and as a result they can actually produce these beneficial byproducts called short-chain fatty acids, which can have protective effects on our gut lining. So arguably, if you're drinking, I suppose, moderate to minor amounts of alcohol or red wine, should I say, it could potentially have these beneficial effects from the polyphenols. And then what's great about red wine as well during the Christmas season is that it's served mostly at room temperature. So unlike white wines and rosés, it can be a drink of choice for many. And I've gone for an organic Primitivo, which is something I'm loving at the moment. And the reason I've gone for organic is just so that it doesn't have as many pesticides in there as well. So don't beat yourself up for enjoying a glass or two of these drink options, and enjoy time with your family this Christmas.